Good evening, good evening, good evening. It is the Monday Night Plastic Crack Podcast, Season 5, Episode 11. 11. Unbelievably so. So, Steve, Basement 1908, said, wait and see if Dom is all by himself. Well, funny enough, I'm not. Look at this. Oh, and Steve's turned up as well. Hello, Steve.
Hello. Cavalry's arrived.
Yeah, cavalry's arrived. Look as if I've done the template and everything. Look at
My God, there was a behind-the-scenes tomfoolery session like there was last time.
Well, no, it wasn't quite that panicky. Well, it was actually, because you sent me a message saying you were running a little bit late, and I thought, geez, I better do the template. So, but this time I did it better, so I actually got it to work. So there you go.
Good stuff.
So tonight we are we're welcoming to, I think, sort of heavyweights, shall we say, from the wargaming hobbies. We've got Alex from Storm of Steel and Travis from Tabletop CP. So thank you, gentlemen, for joining us tonight. Really good to have you on board.
When you say heavyweight, you just mean my weight? I have been going to the gym. But...
I'm not going to be the one to say that, Alex. I mean, look at me. I've lost a bit of weight, but I'm still definitely in the wargaming category of figure physique.
I remain my svelte self.
Oh dear. So tonight we're going to be, the reason I thought particularly to have these two fine gentlemen on tonight was I thought it's really good to explore how you go about and some advice on setting up your gaming facilities, your gaming room, because both Travis and Alex have gone through or in the middle of updating their respective gaming areas. And I thought I did it not that long ago, so I thought it'd be a really interesting topic to talk about. And Steve lives in a cardboard box, so I thought it'd be interesting to get his perspective on sort of from a smaller scale, how you manage it, pack it away, and still live where you game. So I thought that'd be an interesting topic.
Or, as I'd like to call it, why Steve is supremely jealous of normal people.
Well, you can say that, mate. You can say that. But look, first of all, let's have a look at some of. I saw some wonderful weather forecasts coming in, so I'm going to have to go back and look at some of these. So, Rich M said it's a gentle breeze in Stratford on Avon, and it will be chilly. Okay, fair enough. Paul is in a damp and miserable Mercia. That seems to happen a lot, Paul. Damp and miserable seems to be the thing. Traj says, good evening, one and all. It's cold as brass monkey's ball bag here in the Lake District. Well, there goes my monetization straight away. Benjamin says it's windy in Denmark. I was talking to somebody in Denmark today, and they said it was flipping horrible. It was just they described it as British weather. Peeing it down was how they described it. And Hippo's Hobby Hours says, good evening from a moist and drenched Belgium. Okay, and he's working on some weird shit tonight. Good for you, mate. Good for you. I can't say anything bad about weird shit, can I? Martin Hoey is from a blustery island of Jersey. And Juan Pablo Massa is watching us from Argentina for the first time.
Hey.
That's a definite first on the map, so welcome on board. I must update the map with all the new countries. I think we're pretty much global now. I think we're covering everything. I mean, even up north, look.
Yeah. Northern representation this week. Oh, yeah.
Listen,
Keeping it real.
Keeping it real. There we go. And John Salbury is in South Florida, and he says it's 25 degrees and overcast. I've just come back from lovely climate where it's about 20 degrees and it was beautiful. Marky Sparky says
evening
from a wet and miserable Cornwall. Oh, Cornwall's beautiful though. But, yeah,
one of my favorite parts of the country, Cornwall.
Me too. Beautiful. And Satchel says, evening all from another cold, dark East Yorkshire night. Currently painting foot samurai and tanks. Samurai seem to be the thing, don't they, at the moment? And Brian Kennedy is in a snowy Colorado, stuck at work. That's not nice. You want to be stuck at home, not at work. That's really it. Oh, and Joseph's come in with greetings from sunny North Carolina. Hope everyone's well. Oh, grave tonight. So there you go. I think that's everybody. So thank you very much indeed for everybody watching tonight and also watching on the catch up. Really appreciate you all, particularly those who catch us during the rest of the week. Really appreciate it. And remember, we are sponsored by the fine folks at Boards and Swords for all your hobbying needs. Ian and the guys, they're very happy to help you out. And what's the code? Steve, come on, what's the code?
It's PCP5.
There you go.
There we go. Got it
there
right.
we go.
Hey.
I was just filling when I found it. The PCP5, and you get additional 5% off your hobby delights. Right. I think that's all the contractual stuff done, isn't it? We all there? How are we doing? Everybody happy? Had a good week?
Yeah, great.
Yeah, pretty good, pretty good.
Awesome.
I've got one more day of work and then I'm off for the rest of the week, so it's going to be a good week at the end of this week at least.
It's a lovely short week, isn't it? Here, yeah,
Really,
really good.
I actually I mingled with people for the second time this year on Friday. So.
Wow.
There's something seriously going wrong in your life, isn't there? What is happening to you?
No,
Steve?
I had to go into the office. So yeah, it wasn't a hobby related mingling. It was a work related mingling instead.
Oh dear. Steve says, after the Metal Brothers, how long before Alex starts talking about black metal? Goodness, we're not talking about all that loud stuff tonight.
We've only got 2 hours.
It's just ridiculous. Right. Let us. Oh, blimey. Valhalla says it's 16 degrees in a humid Auckland. There you go. God, we are everywhere. We've got Argentina, New Zealand, Midlands. Good grief, what is going on? Right. Let's have a look at what everyone's been working at this week. Alex, I know you sent some stuff over, some pictures. Let me just pull some up and blah, blah, blah. Here we go. Oh, yes, I saw the little tank. I love this.
A little tank.
Oh, nice.
That's the SDKF 222. It's the Warlord one from the Bolt Action set. What is it? Nice. Gentleman's War.
Yep.
He sent it through to me, so I thought, well, I'll give that a go. I like painting tanks. Mostly paint 15mm, so it's a nice challenge to do something slightly different. I've done loads of 135th scale tanks, though, anyway, so
yeah,
you know, it's somewhere in between, isn't it?
Awesome.
So yeah, I was just working on that last week. Really, I made a video of it as well, so I put that together, and I'll be out painting video of that probably the next few weeks. I think I've set it up for.
Brilliant. And you're cracking along with the epic Waterloo stuff, I see.
Yeah.
Oh, no, sorry, wrong picture. That one.
Yeah, the second French battalion I did for the epic stuff, and that was. I'm enjoying them, actually. I really like them. I'm really surprised at how nice they are. I know, you know, everybody else says they're on a 13.5mm, but actually they're not. They're exactly 15mm.
They're true 15, aren't they? Completely true 15.
Checked them against Plastic Soldier Company Soviets, and they're exactly the same size. They just look slightly different because we're used to seeing 15mm in a different poses, I think.
Yeah.
You don't really see them like that, so they look smaller, but they're actually not. And they're really nice figures. And what I'm trying to do at the moment is just try to paint a sprue at a time.
Yeah.
So that's why I finished those ones off as well. You know, like I'll do the battalion, then I'll do the extra bits. And I'm just trying to work on some French cavalry at the moment, some hussars there on the deck. And the other thing I'm painting at the moment as well is, I don't know if you can see that, another 28mm tank.
Oh, wow.
T-34.
Oh, nice.
76. That's going to be featuring in some future videos as well, which I probably can't say too much more about.
About a certain game that might be possibly coming maybe soon.
Yeah,
we're talking about a lot. Yes, I know the one.
So
yes,
yeah,
I've got a few bits of plastic around here that I'm trying to do for that too. So,
I think everybody has.
I think they have. They absolutely had.
But they're lovely kits to make. They're lovely kits to make and paint. I really like them at that scale. You know, if nothing else, I'm just enjoying the process of actually painting them.
Yeah. No.
So yeah, so at the moment I'm kind of, it's weird, I'm kind of swamped by Warlord stuff. I've not really got anything else on. I've got some Vietnam figures, the same ones that you got, Steve, but I just haven't had a chance to get to
Oh,
them, really.
right.
I've been doing other stuff, you know. I've done a couple of sections, and that's been it. And that's pretty much me.
I'm surprised. I did not see you getting into the Epic Waterloo stuff. I was not what I was expecting.
Well, when I went out to Waterloo with pals the other in September, Mark had got this the sets, and he'd got them. He'd had them professionally painted up, and he showed them to us before we went out, and they looked fantastic. I thought it's the first time I've actually seen them in the flesh.
Yeah,
you know, not off the sprue and painted. I thought they're really nice, and we were just chatting about different rule sets and stuff as we were out there, and you know, going to a battlefield obviously always ignites an interest anyway, and obviously I've always been interested in the Battle of Waterloo anyway, and I've got all my 6mm stuff for Blucher, and I've got 18mm stuff for sharp practice, and I was just kind of thinking, well, you know, the middle ground of those two games is something like powderish, you know, GDA kind of thing, and I've kind of got it in half in my mind anyway to go and buy these sets at some point, and I was probably going to buy them at some point this year, but then, you know, fortune intervened and I didn't need to, so happy days, really.
Happy days, absolutely.
You know, just enjoying doing it, really. I may as well just crack on if I'm enjoying it.
Well, exactly, and the effect of them on mass is just fantastic. I think it works really well.
Yeah, it does. You know, you see like Napoleonic battalions, and they're like 24 figures or something, aren't they, or 36? You know, 36 is a big battalion, but they're like 80 figures, and it looks like a big lump, you know, and it's great. It looks really good.
Yeah, you're right, Red Steph. It's the law that you have to have Napoleonics in every scale. Absolutely. And it's the law. Yeah. What about you, Travis? Have you been tempted? Because you're pretty much a straight 28 mil man, aren't you? Have you ever been tempted by something like the Epic Warlords figures?
Yeah, totally. I was wanting to do 6mm. That was right when COVID hit, and like I couldn't get any, or there was a bunch of restrictions on what you could order, and then I just read the reviews of the Epic stuff, and of course a lot of people didn't like them, so it kind of turned me off on them. But now I'm thinking, you know what, they're readily available.
Yeah,
there's no reason not to. So yeah, I mean, I have been wanting to do bigger battles. I've been wanting to try that Altar Freedom game for the Civil War, and you know, you got to have smaller figures for that, but I just, between the 6mm shortage that was around at that time and the bad reviews and kind of just bad overall opinion of the Epic stuff when they first came out, I just never got around to it. But I have no reason to not get the Epic stuff at this point, and I'll probably do a ACW though. Try out Altar Freedom.
I can just jump in there, Travis, and say to you, yeah, I mean, I thought the same about Epic for a long time until I saw them in the flesh, and painting them now, I realise how much detail is on there and how good they are. I don't know about the ACW stuff. And Ultra Freedom, we played it down at the club a few times, and it is a great game. Really good, interesting mechanics in it. Well worth investigating, I think.
I've been painting up quite a lot of the ACW stuff. It's the, like Alex said, the detail is phenomenal on the ACW ones, because there's not that many sprues per se or strips, but that the detail is there. I know there's been a lot of gripes that there's no individual sort of Union sprue and Confederate sprue, but that scale from 3 feet away, no one, you paint them up blue or grey or what have you, no one's going to tell. I know some people have carved the sort of the bush hats into kepis, and I might try that, but yeah, I really enjoyed painting the Zouaves as well. They were great fun.
I remember that. I remember the hat thing was an issue for a lot of people. It's like, we can't have the Union all wearing the the regular hat. And then so it's, you know, all that kind of stuff kind of added up at that time. And I was like, you know what, I'll just wait, and just got distracted, never did it.
Travis, have you got any plans to ever go back to playing Flames of War?
I don't know. I mean, I played it. It's okay. There's still the tank parking lot thing happening, and that's, I don't know. It's fun, but that part of it kind of turns me off a little bit. But yeah, I don't. There's so many games out. It's not going to crack the top 5, I don't think.
No, don't blame me. Don't blame me. Too many games out there, as if. Good grief. Yeah. I mean, I think it is very bizarre with that Epic stuff. You're right. When it first came out, everyone was like, "Oh, this is rubbish." Da, da, da. I must admit, I saw the throughs and I thought, like you, Alex, I thought actually they're really, really good. My criticism has only really been around the cavalry on the whole. For most of the cavalry is fairly, particularly they're sculpted side on, so they're great on the sides, but the fronts are just terrible. But it's a small thing, and as you say, Steve, the fact that when they're deployed en masse on the table, you
do not notice it. The only time you see them when you're close up is when you're painting them, and that's literally it, isn't it? After that, they're just a block of color, basically. 3 foot away. I mean, that's my painting style all over anyway, because I do 15 mil, so there's no point doing too much detail and stuff. But I'm a big exponent of them now. I really, really like them.
Yeah, likewise. But you didn't send many pictures on what you've been working on, but I guess you've been also busy setting everything up, Travis. Is there anything painting-wise or modeling-wise you've been up to?
No, I haven't painted anything in a long time. I think I just took a break. I think I was just painting too much, and I'm like, I'm going to take a little break. And now it's been like a year since I painted anything. But
wow, I
have so much stuff already that you wouldn't notice that I hadn't painted anything new if I didn't mention
it. Yeah, no, I can understand that. I mean, I keep promising myself I'll get to that point of I've got enough, but it doesn't seem to quite happen for some reason. I don't know why.
Never going to happen.
Never going to happen, no. I did stop myself buying something last week. I was quite proud of myself, but I bought it this week instead. Yeah.
Oh, well. a momentary semblance of willpower.
Just for that minute, it was quite good, really. I felt very good about myself. What about you, Steve? What you been up to, mate?
A few bits and pieces. Right. So I've been working on my Warlords of Erewhon Undead. I showed that big bird thing last week. So the only thing that was brilliant. I loved that. It's here. Look, you see it? Size of that. Look.
Is that the carrion beast?
It's a dread carrion thing. It looks suitably malevolent and awful. But
I have no idea what it is, but it does look good.
It's basically Emu's evil twin. if that's possible, because Emu was pretty evil at the best. So
after we completely lost on Travis.
Yeah. It's Google Emu
and Rod
Hull and I wish you hadn't. So after finishing that, I had so little left to finish this warband. The one thing I'd left was the skeleton cavalry, and what was putting me off is that they're lovely figures, but they're so dull to paint. It's just like 2-3 colors. But what I started in the meantime was I was digging around in my bits boxes, and I found some bits to make a bit of an objective.
Oh, that's good.
So I think these are from Mantic. I think when I bought that Mantic Giant, I think these came with like bits of scenery. So I just
runestones.
Yeah, they're just really basic plastic things, but it got some nice carvings on them. Yeah, it took about 30 seconds to paint. And the poor woman there. I think she came with the giant kit as well. But just whacked them onto a CD, some mud, some tufts and grass. And didn't.
Well, she done wrong to deserve that.
She listens to the Smiths.
I was going to say, is that a Smith CD by any chance?
No.
100% agree with that. The punishment's too good for her, to be honest.
There's no tears or broken hearing aids in the mud. So after that was done, I finally got round to finishing it, and for some reason, it's not uploaded the skeleton horses, so I can't show you them. Give me 2 seconds. I'll do it really quickly.
I don't know what StreamYard does, but every so often it'll just like delete pictures randomly.
It's just
so flipping annoying.
Right.
You found it?
Found it. There we go. So there. Ta-da!
Oh, I like that. Are they 3Ds or they?
No, they're from the plastic Wargames Atlantic Chariots Cavalry box. I mean, they're really, really nice, but I found them. They've been sat primed for ages, but I just the idea of just two or three colors, it just bored the snot at me. So last week I thought, right, I've got to get some skeleton bone on these. So I deliberately put on a Slayer album, so I had the proper tempo to get the skeleton bone onto it. But they're finished. It was Undisputed Attitude. So the punk covers one.
Yeah.
Just because
good one though. Not listened to it for a while.
It was very, very unexpected, but yeah, fantastic album. Dom, you ever listened to it?
No.
Put it on Spotify after this.
Okay. Very, very loud. Okay.
And then onto the 3D printing. I was talking to my mate about transports for bolt action and the like. And I don't like spending money on transports because they're just transports. So I found a 3D print, and there it is.
Oh, that's fun.
Very nice.
Like that.
It's described as a US Marine one, but I just think from it's not much of a muchness when it's painted up. But you do get an option of you can add a medium machine gun to it. You got an extra crewman in the back. Yeah, really good.
I always love how clean your painting is.
Oh, thank you.
It is. It's just you've got a real style. You can tell instantly it's your painting. It's just there's something about it. It's lovely. Really
I think I used to be really reliant on washes, but I've reined that in slightly. So I use them more, I could say, as a pin washers, just to create the shadows. Rather, I used to just blast everything with Agrax. So that's 8 years ago.
That's what I do.
I mean, it works. I just moved away from it.
Yeah.
So that was I plan to print more of those because what I want to do is find some crew for long range desert group, and because the crew is separate and you can add all kinds of bits. That had to be scaled up though. That was printed at about 116% of the. It was only a slight increase, but it was just bumping up to the proper scale. But then things went a bit mad last week.
Oh God.
What the?
I appreciate the printing there.
It's 54 millimeters tall.
Wow.
It was originally a 28mm figure, and I wanted to test it to see how far I could how big I could get them. So
that's a print of it then.
That's a print, yeah.
Well,
Lord Almighty.
I don't know how many hours I put into it, but it was really, really enjoyable. Great sculpt. So it's back in the day. Games Workshop released a game called Inquisitor, and it was played with 54mm figures. It would have been about 2001, 2002. I think we played about 5 games of it, and my mates just got bored. I really loved it. It's like it's a kind of a role playing game, sort of. It's very, 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 very like sort of involved with jumping and climbing and things like that. But it was actually played with 54mm figures. And Games Workshop released these figures, but they're like hen's teeth these days. And if you can track them down, they'll cost you about a kidney on eBay because they're quite rare and really expensive. But I've been doing that, and that was a lot of fun. Oh, another picture. There's all my skeletons. Another one's separate. Another one's with separate feet.
Oh, for God's sake!
When I was a nipper and we used to play Warhammer Fantasy Battle, I think it was 2nd edition. I had that skeleton horde box from Games Workshop.
Oh yeah,
the original one, because I always wanted the skeleton army. But being a kid, could only ever afford one box, so we only ever had about 24 skeletons. That was not really a Warhammer-sized army, is it?
Well, that was. I mean, I've mentioned it before, but that was the Children of the Hydra's Teeth. I think it's an old War Games factory box, but it's been redone by Warlord. And they've got separate. Let me just say this again, because I've not mentioned this ever before.
You've never mentioned this before.
They've got separate feet.
Yeah, I put those together.
Yeah. Did you enjoy it? Did you enjoy it?
No, I didn't.
No.
I hated it. They're easy to paint, but putting them together was a pain in the butt.
Oh,
Yeah,
God, it was
horrible.
Honestly, it was like the time was 95% build, 5% paint.
Yep.
It was.
Yeah, it was horrible.
I actually, someone gave me some good advice on Twitter though. You kind of keep them on the sprue and then cram them in, and then I just hide all the weird joints with clump foliage. But yeah, I'm just glad that.
What kind of sadist did that when they're modelling it? I mean, they probably went on next to design a Rubicon kit or something. I mean, just take it a stage further. That's all I'm saying.
Oh, you're hurting me there, Dom. I love those kits. They're beautiful.
But John's calling you out, Steve. He said you don't like buying transports, says the guy who bought a Rubicon UE with absolutely no weapons.
Two reasons for that, John. One, I wanted it finished, and two, I didn't want to listen to the Smiths.
That's true.
Which was the forfeit had I not completed that model. So, yeah, that's why it was complete with no weapons, no crew. It was a very basic approach, but it got done. But I did some more 3D print experimentation today. I was on the 3D Breed website, and I bought some British infantry, 28mm, but I actually printed them at 20mm. It's a bit of a test, and they've come out okay. I've not got any paint on them yet, but they're relatively kept most of the details. So I just love the idea of being able to do different size prints. So this will kickstart my 20mm project that I started last year.
Do they scale now? Okay, because I find the 3D Breed figures are slightly chunky. The newer ones are less so, but the older ones particularly quite chunky. Yeah,
they're not as chunky as the Vietnam ones, but they're slightly bigger than the AB ones. So AB are sort of more lifelike. These are lifelike, but I'd say they're a bit more chunky than the AB ones. But I think they'll go together with them pretty well.
But you can stretch them, can't you? You can stretch them in different shape ways anyway, really, if you really want to, can't you?
But I'm quite chuffed with how they've turned out. So I'm going to get some paint on those, and some more 20mm to work on. But that's what I've been up to.
Nicely done. Don asked the question, why don't you just leave the feet off of those skeletons and hide them under foliage? It's a good question.
It would have saved.
Something to stick to the base. I mean, you can't just have the two little points. It won't stand up for very long. They don't last very long with the feet on. Without, they would just probably pop right off.
Wouldn't it?
No, I mean, until you've actually tried to build any of them, you can't appreciate the pain. It was traumatic. Sitting down and finding these separate feet, for God's sake.
That was just extraordinarily. I couldn't believe when you said that. But for me, I was away last week, but before I went away, I did finish off a couple of things. So I hadn't showed before. So I did another.
Oh, nice.
Well, the Roses band. So this is, I think this is actually the last, well, currently the last band that I'm doing. So this is Sir Neville, one of the Neville brothers, Humphrey Neville. That's it. So I did a couple of his units a while back just to finish off some figures, and I thought I'd just do the last one, Bill and Bo, for that. So mainly Warlord figures. There's a certain dodgy 3D print in the middle there from somebody whose birthday it is. Happy birthday, Martin, if you're watching. So that was that. It's just fun. They're so fun to do, I must admit. I probably will do another band or two at some point, but yeah, they're done. And then yeah, I showed these off. Who doesn't like a bird with a halberd, eh? So badgers and burrows, yeah, just I had an evening free before I went away, and I thought, you know what, there's some badgers and burrows just calling out for me to paint. So I did the bird. Just as great fun, love it. And then I did the sad looking dog. I mean,
bloody hell! Talk about 1,000-yard stare.
Yeah, he doesn't look happy, does he? Yeah, I think it's my painting rather than the sculpting, I have to say. But whatever. But yeah, so that was fun to do. Quite enjoyed it. Just like we always say, they're so fun to do, these figures.
Oh, they are.
I've got so many of the damn things. I still haven't played a game of it, and probably never will. But you know, what the hell? It was fun. So yeah, so that was what I've been up to. Other than that, just actually, and I got lots of comments, Steve, being you as well, from last week's stream, saying about I come back from holiday with about 15 different projects, or taking loads of figures with me. I took no figures with me. I took no wargaming books with me. I did read a certain rule set that Alex was referring to earlier on in the stream, and actually thought it looked really interesting. So that's good. But other than that, I didn't. And I even went around a fort, 16th century fort, and was not tempted to do any Corsair games at all.
For now.
For now. Although what I did see, they had I do love a Portuguese. So I was in the Azores, and there's something about Portuguese museums. They're just fantastic. They're absolutely terrible at telling you what things are, and if they are, they're in Portuguese, which isn't great for me because I don't speak anything. I struggle with English. But the stuff they put in display is phenomenal. This had inside this 16th century fort had a display of, I think it was Portuguese Marines, and it basically covered all their some of their more recent engagements through some of the colonial wars they'd fought through the First World War, and they didn't really do didn't do anything in the Second World War, but they had a whole load of Second World War equipment, including about 3 different flamethrowers. I've never actually seen them up close. That's fearsome. But literally, they were just on the floor, just up against the wall, and it's like there was nobody around. I thought you could just put it on your back and cause mayhem. So I hope they were deactivated. Anyway, I've never actually seen a flamethrower up close like that, and it's not a pleasant thing to see. Anyway, but geez, so yeah, that was interesting. But no, I did not come back with any inspiration on new games at all. I've got plenty of that inspiration already. Thank you.
We are shocked, Dom. We are shocked.
Speechless.
Oh, well, never mind. Right then. That has all been fantastic. So thank you very much for that. So let's get on to tonight's topic. As I say, what I really wanted to talk tonight around was setting up a gaming room and your gaming area, because the 2 fine guests we have tonight have been... Oh, yeah. Tiny's been upstaged by a dog. There you go. So. it's like, are you going to bring a pet on as well, Steve?
No.
No. Okay.
No.
Brilliant. So yeah, I thought we'd talk about setting up gaming rooms and so forth, because Alex just moved to a new house and had to move his wargaming room and so forth. And Travis, you've moved the nerd cave as well over. So I don't know, Travis, do you want to start just sort of kind of the challenges you've faced so far with moving? And you did send me some pictures, so I think I could show some of the. I guess the work in progress. Let me just find this. Was that the new one or the old one? I'm not sure.
So that's the old one. Yeah, the first challenge was just trying to figure out what I didn't need anymore. And I was hoarding sprues. Like that whole cabinet under that table was stacked to the top with sprues, probably 200 sprues.
Wow.
That I thought, okay, I'll use them later. And I never did. And eventually I just wound up getting rid of probably 80% of them. I kept a few, but most of them, it's like, you know what, I'm never going to actually do anything with these. So I'm just getting rid of them.
Wow.
And then just a bunch of other stuff got rid of. And yeah, that was the first challenge, was just figuring out what do I really need out of all this stuff. Because when you're moving, you don't want to just bring all the same crap with you if you don't need it. So if you have time to get rid of it before you move, it's, that's a good thing to do. And that's what I did. So I really downsized a lot.
It's weird seeing it broken down like that. I haven't watched so many battle reports from there. Seeing it broken down like that. It's just, it's like an end of an era. It really is.
It was, yeah. That was a great place. I loved it. I'm going to miss it. But, this place, we have air conditioning, we got heating. that place was just whatever it was outside. That's what it was in there. So it's having a climate controlled room is definitely going to be nice.
Yeah, that's going to be an interesting challenge for, or going to be novelty for you, isn't it? Actually having rather than
it's going to be great.
freezing or heating your butt.
I was going to say, it'd be not getting used to seeing Andre with his furry trapper's hat on.
Well, he might still wear it.
Oh, please make him wear it. That's one of the highlights of the shows. They're brilliant. So, what's this one? This is this the new table? This is the table you're starting to use.
That's so that's the table that's underneath the board. That was an old drafting table because the other one was so heavy, and I mean I loved it. It had storage underneath, but it probably weighed like 200 pounds. And we're like, we got to move this thing up this hill and drive it over to the new house. And we found that in the back when we were cleaning out. It's like, this would probably work pretty well. And funny thing was like the top layer there, we took it off and it was sticky on the top. And then when we came in, I think there might be a picture of it flipped upside down here in this new room.
Where is it?
But I didn't even think about when that there. So that sticky part, the weight of the table on that, it stuck to the carpet. We couldn't move it. It was stuck. I mean, I was as strong as I could push. I couldn't make it budge. So it took like 3 of us to get that thing flipped over, and that was a pain in the butt. But I mean, it didn't destroy the carpet, thankfully. But it's like, okay, I didn't even think about that when I set it down. It's like, okay, we'll deal with this later. And then I go to pick it up. It's like it's not budging. It's not. That was a challenge. Another challenge is getting that thing flipped over without destroying the entire carpet in the process.
Oh my goodness me! And then what's this one? Oh, so that's the new room without the table in it.
Yeah, so that's early on. Yeah, and then the shelves there. I only have 1 shelf now, so a lot of the stuff I have in my garage.
Right.
I'm keeping most of the stuff out there. The only thing I'm going to keep in here is the terrain and the models. But all of the other stuff that I don't use very often is just going to be stored out in the garage. So I'm down to, I have 3 of those shelves plus a smaller one. So I'm down to just 1 in here, which is a lot nicer. It's less cluttered. And I have room in the garage now because, along with downsizing the gaming stuff, I downsized everything I had. So I probably brought maybe 30% of the stuff that I had in my old house to this place. I'm trying to, go minimalist and just not have a lot of stuff. So,
min what? Min.
Well, it's my dream to become a minimalist, and I figured this could be a good time to try to get there. And I did pretty good, I think. And but minimalism.
Not really a war game, right?
Don't mix.
No, he doesn't. What's going on, Alex? He doesn't paint. He's minimalist. He doesn't do any collecting. He's getting rid of figures, not collecting them.
You're giving up on it, aren't you?
I didn't get rid of any figures. Well, I mean, unless you count the sprues. Unless you count sprues as figures. I mean,
yeah, they're just waiting to be done. That's all. Dear.
I think every sprue I got rid of didn't have any legs on it. So.
Oh, okay. Was it another skeleton one? Okay. So this is the new table.
Yeah, well, it's the same table. That's the one we've had for about 10 years now. Yeah, it's flippable, but we have the gaming mats now, so we don't really need to flip it like we used to. We had the desert on one side. We had the grass on the other, but now with all the gaming mats, we just leave it one side up. And then, yeah, those are the new lights that we got.
I just love these new lights.
Yeah, they're really awesome. Oh, I was looking for a solution because I had the shop lights that hung down, but like you said earlier, it's the ceiling's lower here, and they were going to be almost in the way if they were hanging down too much. And someone in the Facebook group sent me a link to these, and I checked out some videos. Like, I'll give it a try, and yeah, they were super bright, super easy to put together, very light. I just stuck them up on the ceiling with Velcro. I didn't have to drill any holes or anything. And
really,
I can just take them down when I'm done, and or if we move again. And yeah, if you're looking for lighting, I would definitely check these things out because it's $100, I think, for those, and you can get more. There's a 3-pack, a 5-pack, a 2-pack. 3 is just exactly the same length as the table. So it's a great solution if you're looking for a over the table light like that. It's really great.
Well, I'm going to look into those. Yeah,
they're great. Well, I think I was saying before we came on, when I was doing the cabin here, I was looking into all these different lights, and I think I saw your ones that you had in the old Nerd Cave, and I thought, because they hung down a bit, and I thought they're just absolutely fantastic. I think it's something like that, and then I realised because of planning laws to be able to build this without any planning permission, it had to be a certain height. And if I'd hung them down, I'm not that tall, but I would have been smacking my head on them. So it was like that was complete. I had to go with the normal spotlight stuck in the roof, but it gives enough light, so it's all good.
Yeah,
so,
no, I love those recessed lights; are great too.
Yeah, but that looks like a really good solution. I like that.
Yeah. I'm definitely going to look into those after this.
Yeah. So Alex, you're doing the same thing. You're up sticks, moved all and I can see you went really minimalist looking at the stack behind you.
Yeah, I downsized as well. This is just a third of what I had. No, I did actually get we when we moved, I mean, you realize how much crap you've got, like Travis says there. You've just got a box full of things you are never going to paint. I had a load of Gasland cars that I bought, Hot Wheels cars, and loads of bits and pieces. I just flogged them on eBay. Yeah, let somebody else have them. I know I'm never going to get around to painting them. I've got loads of Gasland cars. I don't need any more. I haven't played it for 5 years. It's not like, and if I do want to buy them, I'll just buy some more. But yeah, I got rid of loads of stuff, and then as I say, unfortunately, Warlord turned up with a load of other stuff for me. So I've got to cram him somewhere else. But yeah, I did manage to get rid of stuff, and I've been thinking about actually downsizing some of this stuff as well, because there's a lot of single figures that I don't really use. Because during lockdown, I ended up painting pretty much my lead mounted. I know it's almost unheard of. So I just left one figure unpainted when I'd done everything else, just so I knew that I wouldn't die. And, apparently that's what happens, isn't it?
That is what happens.
What happens is it's like the end of Raiders of the Lost Ark. You it just melts into nothingness.
And nobody wants that to happen. So yeah, I just left one figure. But I just painted like loads of like German engineers carrying boxes and things like that. I'm never going to use them, so I'm just kind of thinking I might sell them off somehow somewhere. But going through these boxes is going to be a task in itself. And,
so this is your new room, isn't it?
It is. So that's it with the laminate floor put down. So that's the first thing we did: stripped to the wallpaper and then put laminate down. What you can see in that corner is that's the boiler cupboard, but it's also got this little alcove, and I'm kind of sitting where I'm taking the photograph from there. Right. So I'm looking back on the room. And unfortunately, I mentioned it to you, Don, we're not in a position able yet to actually decorate. So the room still looks like that. So you can see it in the background of my camera now. But yeah, I've not actually been able to paint anything in the house, unfortunately, apart from downstairs. But I don't know what to do about it at the moment. I mean, I'm not too fussed because, I don't mind having just a stripped wall. The plaster's good enough and stuff. But I'm thinking I'm going to put some pictures up and things at some point, because it's going to be quite a few months before we even get around to doing any kind of decorating because of the issues. Because it's an old house basically, and we've got damp problems that need sorting. But yeah, so when we moved in here, because the old war room was in the loft of the old house, and I'd had it since we moved in. My wife said, this place has got a converted loft as well. My wife said she wanted the loft. So unbeknownst to her, I looked at the house plans and I said, yeah, that's fine, you have it. Turns out this room is the biggest room. Got the boiler in it, so it's the warmest room. Her room in the loft is freezing.
Devious.
So yeah, I get lots of complaints about that. But I said, well, you chose it. But this is how it looks at the moment. Again, it's still in pretty much a bit of a state, as you can see. So that bookshelf on the right hand side, that is currently on eBay, a marketplace, ready to be sold. I'm waiting for it anyway. And I've changed I did have the desks in a corner. So the computer desk you can see there in one side, and then the painting desk was next to it. But then I just didn't have enough space, so I had all my figures crammed in, basically next to where the boiler cupboard was. But I thought there's more space here, and I'm not really using this space where I am at the moment. So I've kind of changed things around, and this is kind of how it looks at the moment. Whether it stays like this, I don't know, because dotting between the painting desk and the computer is a bit of a pain. But you know, it's working, and I'm sure I'll make it work. The idea at the moment is probably to get some shelving on the left-hand side of the room, and then I can put all my figures and stuff like that on there, or even get some cupboards and stuff, and just have a drawers, chest of drawers with the figures in, because I only ever take them down to the club anyway, and then I can take them in the MDF trays that they're already in. So it's not as though I really need them to be in really useful boxes, to be perfectly honest.
No.
So yeah, it's still a work in progress at the moment, and you can see I've got the table. I've got the table set up here as well,
right
where it was earlier. At the moment, it's only a 3x4 because I've only got a small IKEA table underneath, and I've been on the lookout for like an extended table. So that's my plan, because I want to be able to make it small and then make it big and put a 6x4 on it. I've got room for a 6x4, I just haven't got the table for it at the moment, because these are that was the one thing I was going to start with, really, around the tables. How you decided what you were going to go for as a table. I mean, for me, I went for work. These are workbenches that I picked up because they're just the right height. And like you say, I've got plenty of space, and I wanted to be able to play big games as well as small games. So I got 6x2s that I can then, you know, put in different sort of shapes, if you like, so I could do a 12 by 4, or if I wanted it really not very wide, but or very wide but not very deep, or I can go a little bit. I can just about get 3 aligned together, so that's what 6x6. The trouble with that is then reaching the middle of the table is a bit tricky. Especially when you're a short man. I know the problem.
Especially when you're a short man, especially when you've got a beer belly and you're trying to reach across it's not good. So that's always been a challenge. But also then you can subdivide it and have 2 6x4s, which is very useful. Yeah, for me. But so you're looking
just
for
changing the camera there, so you can kind of see where I'm at here. So that's the 3x4 on there, and it'll fit a 6x4 in here easily. On mine, you know, because I measured this out. The problem is at the moment I can't go much bigger because I've got the board game thing there, shelf there, which kind of sticks out. But we realised the other day that we don't actually have chimneys, so we could potentially at some point take out those chimney breasts. So the chimneys have been blocked up at some point in the past, so we could actually knock those out, and then that would give us a bit more floor space in here as well. But again, that's, you know, it's like everything else; it's way down the list of things to do. But you know, at the moment, I'm on a 6x4, probably maximum at this point.
Yeah, and it's having that, as you say, that flexibility to be able to fold it up or drop it away. So you can get, because also you guys have also got the challenge of filming as well, which is, you know, also a challenge. Well, I have the same, because you need to be able to get around the table as well, don't you, and be able to film properly. Which adds a little bit more of a complication to the table setup.
It does. And yeah, I mean, you know, even if I'm not filming, it's, you know, if I've got a friend over or something, you've got that space, like you said, just to be able to get around the table. Nothing else. Travis had gone down for a second there.
Yeah.
No, I had to let my dog out. He was getting annoying.
See, you never get that with cats.
So, Travis, for you, you just talked about your table anyway. So you weren't tempted by changing the style of table. You just stuck with the 6x4 that you use all the time. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, it's 6x8 actually. It's a full sheet of plywood size here, at least. I don't know about there, but here is standard size 6x8. So we just have those 2 trays, removable trays, foot wide on each end, and it drops it down to the standard 6x4 size. And, you know, we could take them off and play an 8x4 table. We've never done that, maybe once, but the option's there if we decide we want to have an 8-foot table. So yeah, we've had this table forever. I mean, it's before we even started the channel, we had this table, and Andre and I built it, and we didn't really think much of it. We're like, oh, we'll just do this now until we come up with something better. But it's lasted for a long time. So I don't see any reason to get a new one.
No.
Yeah, I've had those MDF boards for years. They've moved about 3 different houses with me. They're all just painted up, flocked. I don't use them as they are now. I just throw a cloth over like you do. But it's easy to make a 6x4 table out of the 2, and I can make a smaller table if I really want to as well. It's just a little bit of what's the word? It just makes things a little easier.
And Steve, when you're gaming, what's your table arrangement? Do you have a tabletop that you put over another table, or how do you do it?
I've got behind me there. There's 4 by 2 MDF. I got them cut one rock and roll Friday night. Me and my mate went to B&Q. It was brilliant. So they sliced it up for me, and what I've got is it's a fold up table, and I can. If I'm just playing on, so if I want a 4x4 table, just put 2 of those together. And that's for like X-Wing or Space Weirdos or the Doomed or smaller games of bolt action, which I don't have to do any rearranging for it. I can just stick it in the living room over there. If we what we refer to as big table. So if we're having a big table day, I've got to completely rearrange my living room. I've got to move the sofas around. And then that gives it you can fit it in there. It's fine. It's just the faff of rearranging everything. And but I mean, it works. I mean, I do live in a shoebox. It's a really small flat. But if I do want a game, I can game. There's nothing stopping me other than rank laziness to put the 6x4 table together. But no, we've and if on where I'm painting now, it's dead easy to remove everything from here. And if I want a solo like Space Weirdos or the Doomed, I can actually play it on a 3x3 on my painting table here. So I do moan and whinge, but it's a bit of hyperbole really, because there is space here to game. It's just the rigmarole of getting everything out and putting it away, and then I'll spend 2 hours complaining about my bad back, and then
I hear your pain. I used to have the same problem in the house before before this house.
Yeah.
And I used to have to. I was in a small box room, and you'd have to get everything out and bring it downstairs, and move the table around. And we didn't have many games at my house because of that. And it is a real faff, isn't it? Just having to set everything up, and I know you say it's hyperbole, but it is. It can take a while, and you have to be in a certain mindset as well to be able to push you through to the end, because you got to get all your figures out and stuff as well. And
it does. The last time we had a big game of bolt action here, it was a Saturday morning, and I'd partaken of a few on the Friday night, and was feeling slightly ropey, and that's not what you want when the sun's shining in and you're doing manual labor, which I'm not used to. And then we had a good game in the end. But yeah, just the faff. I mean, I've got all the terrain stuff. My flat actually looks like an Amazon warehouse, because there's just Amazon boxes just filled with armies, scenery, and God knows what else. So if I was, I could move, but I really like where I live. It's convenient for getting to work. As Alan Partridge would just say, it's equidistant between two places. So it is. It's compared to where I used to live, that was even smaller, which I didn't think was possible. But that was a converted, like an old Victorian building. They converted into flats. It was the coldest place in the entire world. It was just so cold and backward. It was just awful. But this is, there is. I've got the living room's long. It's like a long living room, and it goes to the kitchen. So there is room. But again, it's just like you say. There's as much as you like gaming. For me, the hour and a half of dragging things around and setting tables up. That's what puts me off. But I can do. Like I say, I do complain, but it's more of a northern thing.
Prerogative to complain. But
when you're to a northerners, you're bound to complain. It's just the way you are. It's default setting.
But when you're hanging from the night before as well, I mean, it's you're even less enthusiastic about doing it.
I was up at like 8:30. I was like, oh, I've got to set up a World War II table. Monkey tennis. Arm wrestling with Chad and Dave.
Not my cheese.
Oh dear, didn't expect to go that way.
Completely lost on this.
Poor Travis. No, I it's a good point, and I think the again, one of the things, when you can set up a table and leave it set up, it's so great.
Yeah,
and it's a luxury that everybody has. So then that ability to pick it up and having to set it up. Even then, I have to say, even with the tables here, I sometimes just sort of think I just really can't be naffed to set it all up, especially if it's solo. If you got somebody coming around, that's a great focus on getting it set up and getting the game ready and what have you. It's like, it's brilliant. But if you're just playing solo, it's like, I'll do it tomorrow.
Why do you think I film my games, Dom? At least it gives me an output, otherwise I'm just playing solo. Yeah. At least I can make some content out of it.
Exactly. So what about storage? Both of you touched on this around, kind of what you use and what have you. Travis, you've got those wire racks there and what have you, and storage out in the garage. In your garage, how do you find? How do you keep track of what you've got, and where do you prioritize where things go? Because that's the bit I struggle. I think I know there's a whatever army somewhere in this place, but I buggered if I can find the damn thing.
I just remember what I have, what I've done. Keep them all the minis in one place. In my closet over there, I got 3-door closet that's full of mainly minis and terrain that I use a lot, hedges, fences, all the mats that I have. What was the other part?
Well, it's just storage and keep how you store stuff and actually keep track of what you've got.
I don't. I remember I thought I'd thrown that German army out.
Yeah.
Yeah. I know I haven't gotten rid of an army, so no, I just keep everything. In the garage, everything's in boxes. There's shelving built into the garage too, so I have a lot of storage, less stuff. So there's a lot of space now for most of the garage is the old nerd cave, like my car, and then the old nerd cave stuff, and then this room is just the stuff that I need. That looks decent when it's out. The other place I had the shelves with just crap stacked on them. Didn't look great, but that's what I had. So yeah. So, trying to make it look more professional and better. Just meant having less stuff, the stuff that actually looks cool, like the terrain, functional stuff like mats and boxes and plastic bins. I don't really want to have those in here. So I'm fortunate enough to have a place out of sight to keep them. And that's where they stay.
Alex, what about you? Yeah, I mean, you're a really useful box man as well, aren't you?
Yeah, as you can see, I mean, I've got them here, and just to show you as well, I've tried to sort everything out. So I've got things, I've got labels on each of these boxes. That's German early war, so that's all the German grey tanks, basically, and the German stuff. And then I've got various other boxes for all that. The scenery. Same again, I've tried to rationalize it. That's in really useful boxes. But because they're big ones, you can kind of see what they are. Yeah. So like all my Singapore and Malaya and rural stuff is kind of in one box. Trees are all in another box. Western Europe buildings are in another box, those style of buildings. Star Wars and Jewish Dread stuff is in a couple of different boxes. Palm trees are all in a couple of boxes. So I kind of try to keep everything relatively similar, just so I know where I can grab it. The problem is it's laid back about 3 layers back there, so I still have to go to the back to get stuff out, But what I've tried to do as well is the stuff that is either crap or I don't use so much anymore, and I put that to the bottom. So the stuff that I'm using more often, or the newer stuff, is much closer to the top, so it's easy to get hold of. And again, I keep meaning to, have a big clear out of my terrain, because there's a lot of stuff in there I probably don't use. I mean, I hope my wife's not listening to me next door, but I probably could do with getting rid of quite a bit of stuff, and I'd still have plenty enough, to play with, to game with. So I don't know, it's I just use these as much as possible. Really useful boxes. Yeah. As I say, I could arguably I could just get a load of drawers and put these in drawers in those MDF cases, because they don't need to be in boxes, because they don't get moved about that often. And again, that would just be an easy way of just cataloguing what I've got and where it is.
Yeah, I mean, that's for me, that's a big consideration, isn't it? It's if you're gaming there majority of your time and you're not taking the figures anywhere, then you can use a very different system. And I was looking at things like map drawers, although they're fearsomely expensive, but they'd be ideal for just putting figures in and just pulling the massive drawers out and having all them all lined up and what have you. But then if you're heading down the club, you're ending up spending even more time getting the figures out, putting them in a box, and then take them off. So the fact they're in really useful boxes, I just grab them and take them,
I do, but the thing is, though, I generally end up just taking the tray out of the really useful box rather than the full box itself. You know what I mean? So I'm almost doing it anyway, just by if I just had them in drawers, I could just pull the tray out of the drawer, But I think I guess the question is, can you find a set of drawers that are the same size as these MDF containers? And that's the difficulty right there. Is a rub, I think. Oh yes, so the club cupboard. Yes, it's pretty rough. I always take my own stuff down because you can never find anything in there. It's just full of these 6x4 table boards that are all painted in bottle green. Absolutely, I refuse to play on them. I'd say, no, we're not playing. If we haven't got a mat, we've got to find something else. I'm not playing on bottle green boards. I hate them. Absolutely hate them.
Yeah, where our club,
painting and playing on that kind of crap.
I know you spend all that time, and then I know what you mean. We at Farnborough, where I game, they in the old building they used to use. We had a luxury of a walk-in room. Effectively, it was like a cupboard, but it was like a room. And there was so much terrain. It was fantastic. So you could rock up, and like you say, I think I took mats because they were not great. The ones that they had at the time, they were just like Subutio things, effectively felt things, which are okay. But when you got decent terrain and nice figures, you just think, I don't want that. So I've got loads of mats, so I just take them along. But then we had to move into a church hall, and there's very little storage. But funny enough, there still is storage. It's in the roof, but nobody wants to use it. So the storage is just, all this terrain is just sitting there, and nobody's actually using it. Now everyone brings it with you, which is kind of just, again, makes it a little bit more challenging. But yeah, I hear you. I mean, I've those shelves there, at risk of sounding like our friend Ken, there's our IKEA shelvings, and they're great because when I walked around IKEA with my wife, carrying a really useful box, testing out how they would fit in there. And actually, they'll like you say, those are too deep, so you can, there's a row behind the front row, which is perfect. If I could remember what's behind it, and I really ought to do some labels to say, behind there is whatever it is. And I've tried to put labels on the boxes to say, what's in what, but I'm getting old and I can't remember even where the Second World War and the ancients are and the Napoleons are, because it's just.
Well, this is the problem. I've got a couple of really useful boxes here because I was running out of space in all the other ones, and this is like got a mix of, I think it's got Vietnam, sharp practice stuff in there, First World War 15mm. So the real mix of stuff just in this one box. I kind of know what's in there, but if I start getting more boxes like that, I'm going to know less and less what's in these things. And I really need to sit down and, again, rationalize everything and just, sort it out. But the thought of doing it is just absolutely overwhelming.
I know. And I think when I moved in, I just shoved everything, just get it on the shelves and out the way. So I know that it's kind of in, away. And then, as you say, you just never really get round, apart from Travis, who's minimalist everywhere. But for me, then the idea of then taking it all out and then shuffling it around and whatever is just like, geez, no, I'm not going to do it. So, but I tried to rationalize it to a degree by putting all the terrain under the tables. So the beauty of using the workbenches is they've got the shelf there and you can just shove it under there. So all the terrain pretty much is in boxes underneath the table.
That could be something like that.
Which is better, I think, for me. And then I can go hunting for figures afterwards. Oh, Andy, you are so good. Look at that. Colour-coded shrubs.
If only I'd thought about it.
If only I thought
10 years ago when I started buying them.
Yeah, that would be a beautiful thing. So what about you, Steve? You're a cardboard box man.
Yeah, Amazon. And like I mentioned before, after the German O Group Army debacle last year, I have been a bit more careful in where I store things because I really did think I'd thrown them out, and I was on the verge of tears for 3 hours. I was like, and then how I found them in a box in my living room under some books, and I have got no recollection of putting it there. Absolutely not. I mean, I got down to my.
The Amazon boxes are all different sizes as well, so surely it just makes storing stuff even harder.
No, I mean, because I've got the big ones, which the really big ones I've got scenery in, and they are currently on top of my wardrobe, precariously balanced. And then the other ones have just got, I've got boxes that fit my 15mm collection in. I've got stuff for Term 28, and I've got stuff for Bolt. I've got loads of bolt action armies. So there is. No, I'm not. I rarely talk about it. I'm quite coy about Baltic. But no, I have got a bit after last year, because that was a horrible couple of hours. I've got a bit better in where I put things, where I know things are. So I've even started expanding out into the hallway. I'm definitely running out of space. So all my American Civil War stuff is in a box in the hallway, which is just asking for trouble.
With your odd number fetish, only store even numbers of items, even numbers of.
I'm gonna do that now. I'm gonna go through every box I own and make sure there's only even numbers of miniatures in each box. But no, I mean I've got my over in the corner there. I've got my hobby area, which is all. I've got like 2 shelves of just basic material, and then I've just got boxes of armies. Just boxed up basically, and then I've got a big box of crap, so figures that I've either worked on and got bored with, or ones I've sort of parked. Now occasionally I'll go in there and I'll find a couple of things and think, I don't even remember painting these, and then I invariably start a new project based on. I found that crab, and last year I bought that crab that I was going to use for turn at 28. That got put in there, and I found it again the other day, so I've got to start thinking about how to put like a turret on it.
There's a certain delight. Travis won't understand this, but there's a certain delight about finding a figure or a particular model that you've got somewhere, or you don't know you've got somewhere, and you open a box and you see it there and you go, "Oh my god, I'd forgotten I had that. That's fantastic."
It's an entire army that I've forgotten I've painted.
Yeah.
One of the joys of being a game, it's like some kind of time capsule. I don't remember buying that.
Yeah.
No, I know, it's brilliant. Let's have a look at some of the comments people have been saying. And then I want to talk about lighting, because I think that's another really important thing for all of us. So Brian wants to know, Travis, will you be able to smoke cigars in your new room? It's the important question.
Well, not in the room, but there's a door right to the patio right here. So, yes.
There you go. Good. Important thing, that.
It's all the considerations, isn't it? You need to think.
Gotta worry about these things. Old school FRP says actually what I said earlier is that both of us got challenges around space for filming. Yeah, that's true. It's In theory, I also have the challenge of space for actually where I'm supposed to work, which is
same here. Yeah, this is my workroom as well.
Yeah, I work here as well.
There we go. So we all work here and our gaming area. Not that we're distracted at all, are we? Any of us?
Oh, no.
But Dom, you've seen my desk and it freaked you out.
It scared the life out of me. It was far too clean. Just really not good. Glinda says my modelling area has been severely decreased due to a drum kit expansion. Get your priorities right.
That'll do it.
Come on. Get your priorities right. And one says my hobby area is a little space in the kitchen right by the fridge. Yeah. I mean, I know we are all very lucky. Even Steve with his bit of space is to have your own dedicated space is something to behold. So I know not everybody's lucky like that. I can remember back in the day gaming with a bit of MDF on a single bed, just putting it over the top. That was not very balanced, but it was but that was kind of all we could do because that was the space we had. So you know. You got to make ends meet, right? Louis Baby wants to know, Travis, who makes those lights? I think we're going to have multiple. I hope you got affiliate link for them because I feel there's going to be a lot of requests for that.
You know, I don't know the exact maker, but I just went on Amazon and there's dozens of different manufacturers of the exact same style of lights. I don't remember the name of this particular brand right off the top of my head, but it was the first one that popped up. It had good reviews, so I got that one to try it out. But I mean, I could probably find it if, well, maybe I didn't actually order it. Someone else ordered it for me. But
no worries. Well, when you,
I don't know.
send me the link if you find it, and then I can put it on the Facebook page. If people are interested, we can then follow it. John Sabry says most important thing in a game room is a beer fridge with a quarantine section for Steve's weird beers. Is true.
Careful now.
Yeah, absolutely. I've got a little beer fridge down there. It was one of the first things I put in. I actually used to have it in my old, what was called a gaming room, but it was actually the garage. So I used to have it in there. I think the mice got to it, but it still works or whatever. Keeps the beer cold, which is good. Carl is another one of us lucky boys. He says he's luxury of a large attic. 3 5x4 tables to game on. Oh, that's seriously. I found one of the things I did find ourselves doing, my wife and I over on a holiday, was speculating about, potentially moving again. Apart from the fact I said that I've just built the bloody cabin, I don't want to move again. And is there any way I can pick it up and move it? And then I got thinking, actually, the delights of being in the house somewhere. If we had an attic or a cellar where you could be and it was warm, because in the winter this building is frigging cold. It really is cold. I'm sitting here with a little radiator behind me here and thick jumpers on because it's cold. And in the summer it's baking hot. But
whereas I'm a t-shirt because it's absolutely boiling because of the boiler.
Yeah, shut up, Alex.
I'm in shorts and bare feet. I'm absolutely rude.
I hate
we're just built of better stuff up here, aren't we, Alex?
Of course we are. Yeah.
Well, anything above zero, and it's summer for you guys, isn't it? So
yeah. I was sunbathing earlier.
Yeah. Jesus. John says, "Hang on, Travis keeps his car in the garage. He certainly doesn't live in Florida." There you go.
I have a place. I live in a place where they don't allow parking on the street, so you have to park in your garage.
Ooh.
There we go.
Yeah.
Fish Frenzy says, "Evening all, just opened up the stream and heard a familiar voice. Tabletop CP, amazing channel, great guys." Yeah. Can't say more. Gary says, "I don't know how I did this. About 10 years ago, I persuaded my wife to let us transform our second bedroom into a gaming room." I thought for a minute she changed the toilet into a gaming room. Blimey. She would never allow it now.
Shit goes in there.
More hostile.
Sorry, there goes your monetization.
It's all right. We're far into the stream now. They don't pay attention after that. Ah, dear. That's fantastic. Glinda says, have you ever thought about having a table with storage underneath? Yeah, that's what I do. I think it's. I would definitely recommend if you're lucky enough to have a table that you can set up all the time, having space underneath it to allow you to store stuff is a huge boon.
Yeah, I mean, I'm going to look into it. I mean, I'm still a work in progress here, so anything's currently possible. But yes, it might be something I'll look into at some point.
I think I found the lights here.
Cool.
It is.
Everybody furiously Googles.
Here we go.
It doesn't even name the manufacturer, though. It's Hexagon. Just Hexagon LED garage lights, super bright. Right now, they're 20% off, $79. So, nice. Yeah, I don't know who the hell makes it. Modern. That's the name of it.
Modern. There you go.
Modern.
Have a look for that. Modern Hexagon light garage lights, and I'm sure you find them on Amazon.
Yeah.
You find anything on Amazon.
Pretty much, can't you?
Yeah, pretty much.
I found them.
You found them already. There you go.
Yeah.
Stick the link in the chat, Alex.
No, LZ Home. I'm sorry. I just got an update. LZ Home LED Hexagon garage lights. But either one is probably the same thing. I mean, they all look the same. I don't really know what the difference is. I just grabbed the first ones that popped up that had a good review. So sorry, I can't be more helpful there.
That's all right. No worries at all. No worries at all. Still love the look of them. Lazy Pirate says, I like IKEA Carlax units to store my models in, and really useful boxes. I have 3 units and have a total of 50 cubes. About 40 have glass cases in. My wife says I have an issue. Yeah, they do that. They do that. I mean, my wife said I had such an issue, she made me build it all out in the cabin and said I had to move everything in here, which I didn't mind. It's fine.
Oh, and Ken almost moved in as well, didn't he? So that would have been.
I still have to hide. Just when he says he rings up every so often, and I think he's coming round, and I just say I'm out of office. It's just not here. It's fine. He's got a baby now. He doesn't need it. Doesn't need to come around here anymore at all. What are we going? Here we go. Benjamin says, I'm moving in with a girlfriend in a few months. I have to cut down on my hobby space. Only good thing is her hobby takes up a lot more space too. So she knows the need for hobby space. I hope you're going to get a big place, Benjamin. That's all I'm saying. Jeez. Yeah, it's moving around. I have to say, it's the one again. We were talking about this over the last week. It's just the thought of packing up everything, all this crap, and taking it somewhere is just fills me with dread. Absolutely, I admire you two for doing it, but it just scares me. It just scares me
as well. The thing is, I find it. I'm still trying to work out whether it's better to do it all in one, like pulling a plaster off, like literally over a weekend, or do what we did, and we spent about 6 weeks moving, and it still felt as though we didn't have enough time. We were literally like on the last day that we said we were going to move out, that we were still cleaning and bringing stuff over and things, and it just felt like it just went on and on and on and on forever. Yeah. And so I just do it in a week and it's done. But yeah, it's horrible. I hate it. Hate moving.
No, I moved to here over the course of a bank holiday weekend, and I hated the world afterwards because I pissed off everybody that day. I was in such a bad mood. I didn't eat for about 19 hours. It was just awful.
Just yeah. And I can't believe we haven't talked about Aled before, because his was the best story. Do you remember this one, Steve?
Oh, the shed.
So Aled bought a gaming shed because he was pissed one night. He didn't tell his wife, and it arrived the next day, or that week or something, and he had to then explain what was going on. And what's made it worse is he says it's so cold out there because he was so drunk he didn't think about heating or insulation. So now he has to do it in the spare bedroom anyway. Oh, jeez.
I mean, I think we've all drunkenly bought things, but I can honestly say I've never bought a shed.
No, I mean that was just another level of fantastic. Yeah, I've put the lights. Thanks for finding those, Alex. I put them in the chat, so if anyone's interested, I think those are the ones. So if anyone's, yes, and Andy, yes, mini Eldridge has arrived.
Yes.
Yeah, he. I was going to say he gave birth. No, poor Laura gave birth last week. So there's
Very cool
baby girl. So I won't tell you anything about it because it's his to talk about if he wants to. But all's well, so that's the main thing. So and we haven't heard a word since. So I assume it's just he's enjoying the delights of parenthood.
That picture of Ken in scrubs just traumatized me for the entire day. So imagine some poor git walking in. I'm Dr. Ken. I'm here to perform your vasectomy. Yeah, that would put the fear.
I suppose, isn't it? Really?
Yes, terrific. Right. Let's have a little pause and do a little bit of news. Not that there's a huge amount because I wasn't here and I haven't actually found an awful lot. But if you gentlemen have any indie contributions, that would be gratefully received. But let me just actually, yeah, I'll do it now and then just play the music. There we go. Well, actually, first of all, we must say happy birthday to our colleague Martin. It is his birthday today, and that is an important piece of news because he's 40 today.
Oh,
happy birthday, mate!
40.
I remember being 40. Well done, Martin.
Yeah, I remember. It's downhill from there on, isn't it? Really, you're just screwed, really. Yeah. So yeah, so that's why he's not on tonight. If anybody wondered, and I hope he's having a really good night. I'm sure he is. I think he had a really good Saturday night. There was a big party, so he probably is still recovering from that. Also, I wanted to say happy birthday to, I think it's probably our youngest viewer, if he's still allowed to watch. I think it gets sanitized to stop some of the dodgy conversation. But Evan, we showed one of his paint jobs a little while ago, and he's turned. Well, he's turned into a teenager today. So there you go. I bet his parents are loving that. But happy birthday!
Happy birthday, mate!
Too.
Congratulations!
Really good. And it's all uphill from there. 13. Jeez. Yeah.
If he's a wargamer, life can only get better.
Exactly right. So first up, I saw these just actually before we came on, so I thought I'd show them off. This is some bank robbers from Black Sheep Miniatures, who, if you know, is the guys at war bases in the UK. So we've got some really nice cowboy figures. Excuse me. We picked them up at Warfare a little while ago, and I've got a mariachi band, which I really like. And these are some of the new mounted figures they're producing. And these are I can't even say it, but the other ones. They're also just been launched. They look really, really good. So, yeah.
They are nice. Who makes them, Tom?
They're great figures, aren't they, the Black Sheep ones?
Oh, right.
Glenn sent me some of the initial releases as a review. They're lovely figures.
Yeah.
Bit big for me, but they're great.
Yeah, Glenn's done a really good job. I think it's a bit of a passion project for him. So, yeah, really, really good. Also, these are 1898 figure miniatures from via Empress, I think. So these are French cavalry that have gone out. So these are 28 mils. I'm sure Andy's getting very excited about these.
I was going to say, that's who I first thought of as soon as you posted them.
It's probably getting moist right this second. So there's a couple of, I think there's about 4 packs of those available now, and they look kind of interesting. I think not a period I know a huge amount about, but they do look good. So there you go. And also V&V have some new Celts. So this is They're resin Celts.
Ooh,
They
nice.
call them slappily Celt 2. Is this pack?
Well, it
But
says
they
on
look
the tin.
nice. Yeah, exactly. You got to be very simple. So there is a Celt one. I know we showed them a couple of weeks ago, I think, but they look really good. They look very nice indeed. And mainly because everyone demands that I do some sort of weird shit, I thought I'd show off these, even though I have no idea. Somebody might be able to help me. So this is Mantic's new Halo Flashpoint game that apparently is on pre-order at the moment. I know Halo is a computer game. I think I've got it, so I do play it. I have played it in the past. I don't know anything about this game. Anybody else know anything about this game?
No, nothing about it. I know it's a computer game, but that's as far as it goes for me.
It's now a board game, Alex. There you go.
Oh,
Wonderful thing.
take your computer to the board.
Exactly. Yeah. Oh, there you go. James is excited about the 1988. Oh, and oh, blimey, what's happened to my mouse? Andy's already burnt my trousers. All right. So yeah, I don't know. Did anybody else see anything this last week or so? No.
Not really.
It seemed it's oddly quiet, I think.
I mean, I could be scouring Twitter for news, but I just end up watching cat videos instead. So
Like your own people with the cat videos.
oh, it is.
It's very different.
Yeah. There we go. Oh, there we go. Antic Halo, basically the same as Enzo. Good job. I still have no.
Oh yeah, Dead Zone. I got the first Dead. I bought a faction for it. That would have been crikey, 10 years ago. It was like a small scale multi-level skirmish game. Looked quite good. Just never got around to playing it. In fact, I've repurposed some of the figures for playing the Doomed with because they're quite evil and funky looking. So yeah, repurposed.
Awesome, fantastic. And he says, GW Dwarves, is that just a request or are they new out? I don't know.
They're back. Apparently.
Oh, are back. Way to go, just teasing us. Thank you very much. I don't know. I just don't know. Oh, there we go. Red Steph. Oh, there's all coming in. Senyo, I can't. I can't even speak English. So that's no chance. A Kickstarter that looks interesting, apparently. Whatever. Oh, and Blood and Crowns is now out. I thought that was already out.
Crowdsourced news. There you go. That's
there you go. That's good to know. I thought that was already out though. Blood and Crowns. Anyway, whatever.
Is that
it's out now.
Is that the medieval version of Blood and Snot or something?
yeah, Blood and Piss or whatever.
Yeah, I think so. I think you're right. Cool. All right. Well, thank you for that. That's very helpful. Any more? Oh God, they're all coming in now. Spiders, foes from AMG. I don't know. Help.
This is frying your brain, isn't it, Don? No,
no. I mean, it's just weird shit, isn't it? I don't know. Yeah. Yeah, Andy, I think we talked. I know the guys did talk about these new Islam heavy cavalry from Victrix last week, I think so, or the week before. So I think we've covered that one. Good stuff. All right. Thank you for that. So we're heading into the last bit of the show. So I'll get back to the topic of the day. But a reminder, thanks again for everyone watching. And if you're enjoying it, please hit the like and subscribe. And if you aren't following these two gentlemen's channels, I'm sure you are. But if you're not, please do. Check out Storm of Steel and Travis's Tabletop CP for some wonderful stuff. And Travis, when are you going to be back doing some games? Is the Nerd Cave version 2 sorted out and you'll be back doing some games soon?
This weekend. That's the plan.
Awesome.
So everything's finally put together, and I think we're ready. So just got to hit Andre up and set up a time sometime Saturday.
It's going to christen the room.
Good stuff.
Awesome.
Yeah, it'll probably be a game of bolt action just because that's where we started. And frankly, I need to build the channel back up. I haven't put anything out in like a month and a half, and it's just downhill.
Is that right? Have you noticed a massive dip in views and
well, I mean, just yeah, I have. So I put a few things out here and there, but you know, nothing can compete or compare with the consistent output of a weekly video. So it's hard to maintain that, especially when you're trying to move and it's
You just can't. You can't.
When
it is what it is. I'm not worried about it. It'll do what it's going to do. So yeah, but this Saturday we'll play a game, Bolt Action. I got Octoon and Panzer as well. I think I just got the tokens for it. I had it, but they didn't send any tokens. I'm like, what am I supposed to do here? I can't play without the tokens. So I think they just I got to go pick them up this week sometime. So that'll be probably the week after.
Yeah, I had a load of videos backed up, about 10 videos backed up for when I was moving. I normally had like a load of stuff anyway. So it turned out that by the time I'd actually moved, I was actually in a position to be able to start filming again. So there wasn't really a break in it. But I did get a bit worried about, videos not appearing. And I made a couple of videos saying that, you might get a lack of videos coming forward. But thankfully, I just had enough to see me over. But right now, I think I've got 2 or maybe 3 videos that are ahead. And I've never been this short of videos, so I'm a little worried.
I'm living week to week on them, so I don't have any backed up.
Yeah, because you do them, you play them, and then you pull them out, don't you? Straight away, it's slightly different.
Yeah. If I was smart, I would definitely have done something like that ahead of time, but I just
you need a social media output specialist working with you. I'm available. I
like it.
Talk rates afterwards.
I think I always promise myself I'll get I sort of one or 2 weeks I'll get ahead of myself and I have a couple lined up and then something will happen because I always rely on the fact that my Friday club game, I'll record that, and if it's a good game, I'll put that out the next Friday, and it sort of has a rolling thing. But if you have a week where you miss, or the club doesn't open, or I'm not there, or it's a shit game, I kind of then that drops out, and then it's like, it's terrible. So I do feel bad, but there are weeks where just nothing happens. Like last week, well, there'll be nothing up until next week because I've been away. So that'll be that.
I have literally no plans. I never know what my next video is going to be. I get distracted by things and I think
I don't plan them in as much as that. I basically make them so then they kind of currently, because I'm painting a load of the epic and the bolt action stuff at the moment, because I'm painting now, I'm making painting videos, and the actual Panzer, I'm making a video at the moment of the painting of the T-34s. So that will be something that will come out in a few weeks because I've currently probably got like 3 or 4 videos of stuff that I'm painting in a week. They just need to sit down and edit them. But then I don't think like, in 3 weeks I'll do X video. I just generally do stuff. But it's just I build up a backlog of them, but they just come out randomly. Basically, it's still pretty random.
That's nice, Tim. He says you guys worry too much. We understand that real life gets in the way. I know, but it's funny. You do feel sort of obligation to just keep producing something, don't you? Just for people to watch and.
I
enjoy doing that.
I haven't played a game at all myself. I mean, I'm not playing off to the side either. So, I mean, it's been a long time since I even played a game. So it's I miss it. So they go together for me. It's like that is my game time. So I mean, I enjoy playing games, and if I'm not filming a game, I'm not playing a game. So it's been a while since we've thrown any dice. So we're really looking forward to getting back to it.
Yeah. I want to make some more Turnip 28 videos. I've not done any of those for a while. I'm actually this time I am going to TurnipCon in May. So I'm going to be building a new regiment for that. So,
can you do a sort of list building video about planning your army and what it looks like, and then building it out, and then how it does at the
I mean, you
competition?
could, but it'd be really dull because the way I build stuff at 10 or 28 is just how weird can I make it, and is it going to be cool? I couldn't give one about the actual the list, but no, it's a funny world. I'm actually looking forward to it, and it's only in Nottingham, so it's not far to travel for me. Yeah, May, Turnip Con. Looking forward to it.
Are you going to go dressed as your favourite root vegetable?
No, I've got a plague mask. So I might. It's really weird. It's actually hung on a mirror in my hallway, and so I've got no idea what people think when they turn up here. There's a bloody plague mask just hanging off a mirror, but that is very turnip-esque. The plague masks.
That's awesome. Dear. Quick question for you, Travis, from Fish Frenzy. How have you found asymmetric wargame rules?
Oh yeah, they're great. It's it's basically Vector Operations version 3. It's the same rules.
Okay.
I guess they had a split between the Spectre people and the guy who wrote the rules, and he came out, made his own rules, renamed them Asymmetric Warfare. Then Spectre made version 3, but it's called Spectre, but it's a completely different game. So it's Asymmetric Warfare is kind of a refined version of Spectre Ops version 2 under a new name. But yeah, they're great. A lot of the changes that they made are stuff that we were kind of house ruling anyway. So it's just a lot more streamlined. It's a faster paced game now.
Nice. James is concerned for you, Steve. TurnipCon. Is that a shortcut to the GHQ? Yeah, I think it probably is. Yeah, and yes, Steve. Tufter manufacturers have been awarded various contracts for Steve's next army, along with the mud.
It's been since last July. I stuck a tuft on a figure's back. That's the last time I did that. Was last July. It's when I made that regiment, and they were just Napoleonic uniforms with like tuft ruffs and then skulls. and
the horror. The horror.
Talking about that, Linda says, "Will Blackadder be turning up at TurnipCon?" Yeah. Anyway, right. Enough of that shenanigans. Let's go back to the topic of the day. So, lighting, because I think we'll all agree, whether you're painting, even doing filming, certainly for gaming, having decent lighting is important. I know we talked about your lights, Travis, and and what you've got above the new table there, which looked awesome. But Alex, what about you? Because you're obviously at the moment you're challenged with the light bulb that will not come down. What's your plan?
Yeah, I mentioned this before the stream, but that's DIY disasters in this house are ever unforgiving, and I realised that I can't actually unscrew the light holder up here at the moment because it seems to have been glued in originally. I'm kind of stuck with a really crappy light at the moment. I've even tried cutting the light shade off so I can put a nice lighter shade on, but it hasn't happened. But yeah, I'm actually now looking at those hexagon lights that Travis has got there. They're really interesting. I'm going to look a bit more into those after this. You can probably see another light I've got. I mean, I use studio lights for when I'm lighting anything, really. I've got two of those. I think they're SD, SESSDI or something, or whatever it's said. They're relatively cheap. Found them on Amazon. Just got them, and I've had them now for about 4 years, and they work perfectly well. Just set two up either side of the game when I'm playing it, or if I'm filming something, I'll usually have them in the background. I haven't got them here, but usually behind the camera, just to throw a bit of light on the place. But yeah, so I use those. And the other thing as well, here in the old war room, I used to have the loft window, and it didn't have a curtain. So when it was really sunny, you'd just get a big block of light moving across the table. So sometimes I had to wait about 3 hours for Klaus to come so I could carry on filming. So the light was actually okay. You'll see in some of all the old videos that, and then I put a cloth up and things. But now I've actually just got a proper, window on the wall there, and it's got a shade and stuff, so I can actually manipulate the lights a little bit more. So. But yeah, it's a lot brighter in here now than it was in the old loft, the old war room. That's for sure.
I got caught out by that by Mrs. C last summer because I came in. I can't remember, get a cup of coffee or something. She said, "Are you playing games up there? Not working?" And I said, "No, of course I'm not." She said, "I know you are because you closed the blinds down that end of the room, which is mainly on the table. There's double window there, and when the sun comes through there, like you say, it's just absolutely blinding. You can't see a thing.
Yeah.
So I have to close the blinds." And she said, "I know you gave me because you closed the blinds." Busted.
Yeah.
But yeah. Lights are critical. I mean, I used to use exactly the same as you, those freestanding studio lights. I've got very similar ones, and so I don't tend to have to use them here. The lighting's pretty good with all the spots that have been gone. And although the electrician who put them in, he said, "How many do you want?" Never
done that many before.
No, he said, "Well, I can't remember the number." He said that would be plenty for a room that size. I went, "Yeah, just double that, will you?"
Did you explain what they were for, or did you keep it quiet?
I did, and he looked at me even weirder.
Double the price.
Yeah. So yeah, but yeah, I think lighting is critical, and I think particularly, especially if you get down to painting as well. I mean, that's having various different spot beams and what have you. Steve, what do you use there for your lighting for the painting particularly?
I've got this light here.
Yeah, I've got exactly the same thing as you, Steve.
A movie one. They're brilliant, aren't they?
Yeah, they're
really good. And I've just got a stand. I just got a standard desk lamp there.
What?
And I have two to give me a good thing. Yeah. Actually, filming any kind of battle report is nigh on impossible because there's so little windows in this place, and natural light is at a premium. So we filmed a game of Bolt Action last year. Really good game, filmed all the way through. Really good, cracking game. I come to edit it, and I was like, it was like it had been recorded in a cave. I could have stitched it together and released it as some kind of film noir. It was crap. Yeah, it needs fingerprints anyway. Yeah, so I mean, I do need to get. I mean, so those lights that Travis is talking about. Like I say, Travis? Did you say you put yours on the ceiling with Velcro?
Yeah, it's got some of that heavy duty Velcro and stuck it right up there. They only weigh 5 pounds. I just saw when I was looking at it, it weighs 4.5 pounds the whole setup. So Velcro will have no problem holding it up.
Yeah, I might look into that. I'm sort of. Whenever I have a property inspection, I'm just gonna say to them, "Don't look at the ceiling; they're not there, and don't ask me why they're there either." Because that's a rabbit hole you don't want to go.
Could you get some with sort of mood lighting? Then you could say, just do mood lighting in there, so it's not just I've heard about it somewhere.
I want to get Turnip 28 mood lighting.
Should have green lights on your game.
Yeah, the greens and browns.
Love that idea. David's back on it again. It says he has 2 desk lights, an even number.
Absolutely.
Geez. Yeah, I think because lighting, well, we always say whenever we talk about advice for painting and what have you, it's having decent lights. They're absolutely critical, and I think it's the same with the gaming as well, and not just for filming, but just actually being able to see the figures. There's nothing worse than when you're playing a game and it's you played halfway through the game and you can't recognize the figures that are playing.
And lighting is so cheap these days as well.
Yeah.
Really.
Oh yeah,
that's the other thing as well. Like that lamp that you've got there, Steve, and the one I've got here. I can't remember. It's probably about 20-25 quid or something.
I think that cost me. I think it was $19.99.
Yeah, there you go.
Off Amazon, but it's the articulation on it is absolutely
brilliant.
It's
you pull it right down to where you're looking, and you put it up. It's great, really good.
Really good.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I know. It's
just pennies, really.
Actually, I think just keeping an eye out on what's available is the LED stuff is just so good, so good. Okay, so what about one thing I'm going to ask you both, and I'll start with Steve before, so you can have a think about it, you two, and I won't let Steve have a think about it. Is if you're moving, if you were giving advice to somebody moving and setting up a gaming thing, what would be your first piece of advice for them for doing it? Apart from don't do it.
make sure your living room's got a width that you can't put your hands against. No, I just think it's. I mean, I admire what Travis has done. I wish I could downsize and be minimal. I mean, when I first moved here, I chucked a lot of stuff out, but I seem to have accumulated it all over the past 12 years. So it was a ridiculous thing to do. But I think one day I will do that, and I think it would be just to be organized, not have like crap everywhere like I've got, because you end up throwing armies out that way. But yeah, just be organized and just be sensible in the approach. Or you can just do what Dom did and buy a massive, great big shed and put it in your garden.
Yeah. Although I am planning. I mean, whether it happens or not, but I am planning to do a bit of organization of it. And who knows, some of it might actually go on eBay after that. But yeah, I'm not going to downsize though. Just to create more space for more stuff I am going to use. That's all it's about. That's what it is. So what about you, Travis? What's lessons learned for you? What's the main lesson you've learned that you could implant to somebody else about moving in lock, stock and barrel and setting up a new gaming room?
Well, I'll just second what Steve said. Just try to be organized, and when you're that time you're moving from one to the next is your time to organize stuff kind of on the go. As long as you're not in a rush to get out, you got 2 days to get everything from here to there. You have a few weeks to do it. Use that time to do the organization, even the downsizing. I know downsizing and wargaming are typically associated with each other, but there is some downsizing that everyone can do. I didn't think I was going to be able to, but I had no choice, and I found the stuff that I wanted to get rid of, and it's made my life a lot better. Just having less stuff. I didn't get rid of any of the important stuff. I kept all that, but the stuff that I thought was important really wasn't when it came down to it. So stay organized, and if you have the luxury of a few weeks or a month to move from one to the next, use that time to organize and downsize, and then when you have a plan for your new place as well.
Awesome. Yeah. What about you, Alex? What would you give people advice for?
Yeah, it's certainly third. Well, these two have already said the risk of repeating that. I mean, I'd also say as well, I think just take it one step at a time. We've been here 3 months now, and I still don't think I'm in a position that the room is going to be how the room is going to look in 6 or 8 months. It doesn't have to be done immediately. I've already changed my configuration twice at this point, and I'm sure it'll happen again that I move things around again. When I get other storage, and when stuff is being decorated, and I've got more idea of what can go in where. So yeah, it's just a basic case of just keep moving. Move at your own pace, and don't expect miracles overnight. I think that's the main thing. Once you're in a place, it doesn't matter because you're there, aren't you? You're going to be there for a while, so just sort it out as it happens, and things will fit into place. And get rid of crap. Stuff you'll never pay, and get rid of it. Put it on eBay.
Don't be afraid to sell some of it.
Yeah, at the moment I'm trying to sell my Wings of Glory collection. It's a massive collection, but nobody wants to buy it as a big one-off. So I'm gonna
sell them individually,
but I'm going to have to break it down. Yeah. The only reason I didn't want to is just because it was such a long time to actually do, listing everything. But it is what it is. You'll free up some space.
I sold mine some time ago. It wasn't a massive collection, but it was some of the original stuff, and it was it did sell pretty well, has to be said.
Yeah, I've experimented with some Sobri triplanes, and already they've had bids on them. I'm selling them in threes, but I've got something, I think 96 aircraft, all from the first series onwards.
Blimey.
Yeah, First World War enthusiast for the First World War, in particular aeroplanes. So, but yeah, I just kind of wanted to get rid of it, but it's people aren't willing to pay what I want for it at this point.
Fair enough. Yeah. No, I think back to the recommendations rather than the selling. I think I would certainly agree with you all on looking at the opportunity to rationalize. I'm not going to say downsize, rationalize some of the figures, some of your figures, and sort of being honest about what you're going to use and what you won't. I can't say I'm always that honest about that, but I try. I did actually, believe it or not, get rid of some stuff before I moved in here. But I think also you mentioned it, just planning out the layout is really important. I think having an idea of, but being flexible about it, but just thinking through where the table's going to go and where the storage is going to go. And if you're having it built or decorate or done yourself, or done from fresh, think about where the power sockets go. That's another really important thing that you're going to think through. So there's nothing worse than sort of, you got a bank of plugs and then you realize that's where your storage cupboard's going to go. Just pain in the ass that is. So planning the room out is a really good thing to do, I think, and making sure you've got it worked out. And as you say, not rushing it, not being afraid to think, okay, that didn't work, and shifting it around again. I think that works for me. But anyway, yeah. Well, I hope that was helpful to people. It's good. I think it. I know everybody at different stages of their gaming career. Some people were sort of trying to do it in the kitchen like Juan was doing, and other people are sort of lucky to have entire attics to game in. But I think whatever you're doing, there are ways around it, and I think the beauty of it is there's like you gentlemen do, there's the MDF tables that you can just lay on top of things, and it works. It's perfectly good. It's always a game, which is always a good thing. Right, let's have a look at some of the viewers' pictures, because I love all this. So reminder, these are pictures from the community that have been put up on the Facebook page. If you're not a member, join. There's a link down below, and you can join. And we'd just love to see what everyone's working on and some of the games they've been playing. And this week there seem to be an awful lot of games, which is, I love seeing games, especially since I haven't played a game for a week or so. It makes me think, it gets me excited. So case in point was David showed off his first General Darmay 2 game, which is Russians against Poles.
Holy moly.
Now, he said, I may have overdone it on the figures for my first game, but it was bloody good. And I think you may have done, mate, but it is bloody good. So I'm not going to criticize. That's fantastic. Really, really good. So I'm looking forward to have a game. I've got the rules here, and I still I've read a bit of them, but I really need to get my head around them and have a go at those new rules. Because
I've read them. I'm desperate to have a game of it as well. They played it down the club the other week, but I wasn't there. I was watching Stuart Lee instead.
Yeah, I know. Jeffrey was showing off some of his modern painting figures. Look at them.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, very good indeed. Don't know what they're for, don't know what game they're for, but they look very good.
I think they could be used for Spectre Ops or whatever it's called these days.
Possibly.
Right. Yeah.
Totally.
Yeah. Now, Craig, I love this unit. This is, even though it's the wrong nationality, this is his 9th Light Chasseurs.
Lovely.
Very good indeed. There's nothing better than a big Napoleonic battalion. Now I know I know it's not big, but you know what I mean. I know somebody in the chat might have an issue with big for that, but anyway. This one is Jonas's World War II French armored car. Now he did say what it was, and I still have absolutely no. It's a Burlette. Is that right? Anybody know?
No, I don't know. I've seen one of those before.
VUDT. I didn't even realize it was a real thing. So there you go. Lovely. Nice model. Nice weathering on it. I do love the fact is that what he's done with the tyres there. Makes them look like they have been.
That could be something off Wacky Races.
Could be. Yeah. Well, nice, Jonas, very nice indeed. Martin has been working his way through his British Peninsular Napoleonics, and these are his dragoons painted up. They're very good indeed.
Lovely job.
Nice. Lovely job. Now, Matt has headed into madness and is working on Austrians. So I think he's planning to use these for that event at Boards and Sword in June that Tim, Napoleonic Wargamer, is running, which I'm planning to go to. I think Martin might be going to now as well, so which looks fun. So he's going to come along with the Austrians. So I may well see them across the table in June, which I look forward to seeing. So well done, Matt. And other Matt has been working on his Celts.
Oh, nice.
They look good as well, don't they? I must get back onto the Celts now. I'm back and I've got a couple of weeks at home. Let's carry on with the Celts. But what's putting me off is I've got cavalry and chariots to do, which is going to be hard work. Another game from Paul. This time it is a... now, again, he did say what this one was, and I need to find the note. It's a black powder Dos Caravias Grande game, spoken like a local, obviously, which looks absolutely phenomenal. The only problem with it, apparently, the Brits got a kicking, which is there must have been something wrong with the rules. That's all I'm saying. So to make up for it, I showed off the British Army. There you go. Oh, there you go. Apparently, they made 50 of them in the late 20s, if I remember correctly. That French tank.
Yeah,
well done. I believe you. And Phil has been working on his 6-pounder from Empress 28 mil. I think that one is.
Oh, that's 20 mil, isn't it? I thought
20 mil. Sorry, it is 20 mil.
Yeah, it's 20 mil.
Yeah,
he's been posting a lot of his 20 mil stuff. That's what's sort of inspired me to get back into painting 20 mil again. But that's lovely, really nice.
Very nice.
Very nice. And then just scaling down a little bit to 18 mil. This is Sean's 18 mil Opal-Cheney, Russian Opal-Cheney. 18 mil. Very nice. He showed off a couple of units of these things, and they're really good. Looks very good.
Where are those figures from? In 18 mil? There's not many manufacturers.
No idea. I didn't even know you could get 18 mil Napoleonics, if I'm honest.
Yeah. AB Miniatures do them. Eureka.
Yeah. Oh, of course they do.
Yeah,
they do.
They're beautiful.
Yeah.
That's why I went for them. For my shell practice stuff, they're all 18 mil.
Very nice.
I know Blue Moon do them as well.
Okay. Very nice. I think I've got that flag on the right, on the writers of the unit, but in 28 mil. Really good. Now the Madman that is Basement 1908, Steve, just in a weekend or something, he painted up French Brigade. Yeah.
Wow.
So that's his French 9th Léger Brigade.
Okay.
He painted up in a week or so. You know, that's the way he rocks.
It took him that long.
Yeah, I know. The people think I paint quickly, but blimey, he does.
Yeah, it's incredible.
I can't even begin to imagine if someone put those in front of me and said, "Steve, you got a week to paint them." Yeah.
Well, he has to paint.
My response might rhyme with "cluck boff."
He has to paint that number because he has to fill that massive table that he has to play the ridiculously large games that he always plays. I mean, so I think he's doing it. He did a General Dame 2 game, or he's planning to with those. That's why he was rushing to get them done. So good job. Now, Steve was teasing me with, because he says I like all the weird shit now. So this is Ratkins versus Undead. I knew that before he posted it, obviously.
So obviously.
Just screams it. Just screams it.
Amazing figures, though. Gee whiz. Some of these figures are just extraordinary. And then Warren, this is his latest Oathmark dwarf crossbow.
Oh, yeah.
I think it is.
These are by Highland Miniatures, and they're 3D printed, but they make some fantastic figures. Just look at those. Brilliant.
They are very full of life, aren't they, those?
Brilliant.
Whatever
Really
you think
nice.
of fantasy, yeah, they're nice.
And then Stephen showing off French Ultramarine.
Hey.
That's a throwback, French Ultramarines.
That's fantastic. That really, really good work.
I love the gore coming off the blade. That's really clever. And then one painted showed off these Solent Warband.
Ah.
I think they're great. I don't.
Are they for Mordheim or something?
Don't know.
Yeah. Asking the wrong. I'm asking the wrong. Completely.
You are asking the wrong person. You are absolutely damn right. Asking the wrong person. But they look good. So there you go. So there you go. Thanks for everybody who posts all the things. As I say, we can't show everything, but we love to show a good range of what people are working on, and that's what's so much fun, is seeing just that sheer variety of figures. He says it is for more time. So there you go.
Oh, right. I thought it was cool.
There you go. So we are time. Thank you very much indeed, gentlemen, for your time this evening, on this afternoon for you, Travis. Much appreciated. I'm looking forward to seeing your game at the weekend when you get that up and running. Be nice to see the Nerd Cave version 2 in action. I shall look forward to seeing that. And Alex, thanks again for coming on. Loving what you're doing with your epic figures. I'm looking forward to seeing the first game of that. So
you'll be waiting a while, I think, but we'll get there at some point.
You get there. You get there. Thanks for everyone watching, particularly those watching on the catch-up, as I said before. Really appreciate it. Now, next week, no show for us because it's a bank holiday. And we decided we're going to take bank holidays off. So, no.
Executive decision. Executive decision.
So we will be back the following week, which I think is actually back on my channel again for some reason. So probably because I haven't had one for a week, so I felt I had to do another one. So I'll be back on my channel. All the details. I think we're going to have a guest again, but I'll put full details up once we know what is going on. So check out the schedule, check out the Facebook page for all those details, and like, subscribe, and follow, and all that good, funky YouTube stuff. Thanks very much indeed, chaps, for joining us. Thanks for everybody watching.
Yeah, thanks,
we'll
guys.
See you again in 2 weeks' time. Cheers.
Thank you very much.
Bye.